And yes, we are glad it worked out. Hello, everybody. Friday night just isn't Friday night for me without my girl. So, Allison and I have a really funny story. She was just sharing me that we got in from Walmart. I'm like, I want to do, a pop up to let everybody know what the hell's been going on the last couple of days. And I said, I go look at the time. I go, well, it's not quite 8 o'clock yet. I wonder if Allison might want to pop on and do Friday anyways. And she was telling me backstage, like 10 minutes or so before I sent the message to her, she was thinking almost like the same thing. So
Ooh.
very cool. Very, very cool. So I'm not going to be able to really highlight a lot of comments just because of how things are, but we do have Isadora here. Hello, Isadora. Miss Taro D is here. Shelby. Oh, did you get that to work?
No, it doesn't do it anymore.
Aw.
We never figured out why I did it in the first place, but it's gone. So anyway.
And Miss Moonlight is here. So Miss O, you spent the day at the DMV trying to get new. Oh my goodness, I got to do that next week. I got to go in and find out how much it's going to cost to switch over my license and my car registration. So oh, you had to cancel
Oh,
your
I'm sorry,
treatment.
Miss Charity.
Oh wow. Um, so they're talking about passports and things. Yeah, it's really screwy. Hi, Selena. Hello, Kristen. Oh, it's so good to see all the faces. Um, so just, I mean, I always start. I even ask Allison how her week is went. But do you want to start and then I'll get into
We'll
mine
talk
or
about me next week. You go
next week?
ahead.
Well, we're here. We made it to Oregon. We are currently in Central Point, right outside of Medford. And yesterday was hellish. I mean, the drive was beautiful. The
Yesterday
landscape,
afternoon,
the
evening.
landscape was beautiful. The whole drive. I just wish I could have kept finding places. I mean, at some point in the upcoming years, I want to be able to maybe do a train ride back to some of these areas, rent a car maybe, and go and find ways of either taking pictures or going and doing light paint. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. And so we got redirected yesterday. So our drive ended up being close to 12 hours. I did get set past Shasta, so I did get a little bit of glimpse of Mount Shasta. The ride was so long though. Ziva had to have her bowel movement accident. So we had to get some kitty foam and clean her up a bit when we got to the hotel. But the hotel, oh my God, people. I can laugh now. Believe me, I was not laughing last night. Um, I think train ride. Okay, I'm just making sure I'm not missing saying hi to everybody. So yeah, we get to. So I got a triple A membership because they helped me get to Flagstaff when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. And all of my hotels were booked. Everything went perfectly. They did a triptychs, which we didn't use on this one because the trip would have been longer. So I used the Waze app that Allison and my counselor, Kathy, recommended. And so the last day, because I don't know if there was certain construction or an accident, I guess we must have been rerouted because I ended up going through California. And I didn't realize when you go into California, they inspect you first, no matter if you're coming from what state or whatever. So um, I had to open my trunk, the back of the hatch to my escape, and he had to look inside. And he says no or plants or anything. I'm like, nope, just relocating. And he was really friendly. And he goes, okay, you're all good. I'm like, okay. So I drove a little bit through California. Mount Shasta was quite the sight. I couldn't see much of it because I had to keep my eyes on the road. But oh God, going from like two something for a tank of gas, for a gallon of gas up to $5. That was mind blowing.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, what they say about California. But hey, Carrie. Um, so we get after all this driving, we finally make it. We get to the hotel and we go in. The guy at the front desk is foreign, so it's already kind of hard for me to understand him.
I
And
know
on
this
top of
part,
it,
and I'll be 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
and he has a speech impediment on top of it. And I'm trying to explain to him, hey, we made it. I got, we're here for our reservation. And he says, you have pets? I said, yes, I have 2 cats. We don't accept cats. Wait, what? Our person that booked our hotels through AAA, not only did she do it once, because if people remember a couple, stops before, the manager was gracious and let us sneak Mozzie and Ziva in, even though they were dogs only. Did it again with this place. No. And so trying to have, I was sent to I would call one person. They say, no, you got to talk to this person. Then they sent me to this person. I thought I was going to have a meltdown. I was exhausted, physically hurting after driving for 12 hours. I mean, I just literally, it's just, even to go back to that, it was bad. I almost had a meltdown. At one point, I had to walk away and told Shan, you try to fix this. And I went outside, had to sit down for a second. I'm like, no, he's not going to be able to fix this. So I went back in. They sent me from one person to the other to the other. And now we may very well be out of $158 because we didn't cancel on time. And we couldn't cancel on time because the girl who did and the thing is though, Super 8. So anybody who travels and you're looking to book Super 8 motels, their website will say pet friendly, but you need to go into click on, there's like a red button or something that goes on amenities or something like that, the details to fine print.
It expands it.
Huh?
It expands it. And AAA should have known that, but go ahead.
And when you expand it, then it goes down to the bottom and says dogs only, no cats. And they won't refund us. Expedia won't refund us. We were told, no, you have to take, AAA has to do it. The girl who made the mistake is away on training. She won't be back till the end of next week. And then so I had to call another number. And then that woman said, well, let me give you to someone named Christine, and she'll be able to call you back. She called me. She talked to the guy trying to understand. I mean, it was a circus at one point. And she said, listen, she goes, I noticed that she's already a mistake with the last place and with this one here. She goes, if they don't refund you, AAA will refund you for the mistake because she made that mistake without checking. So she was supposed to call us back today and I didn't hear anything. So Shan may or may not be out of 158. We don't know how long this is going to take to see if this can be rectified. So if you go and do anything with Super 8, just know if you're traveling with pets, dogs only. Kristen, that's what I was doing. I was being sent from one person to the other. And thank goodness Mahogany got me to Christine in the travel department or something with AAA. And Christine, was very kind. She was very supportive. She was frustrated talking to Raja behind the desk. And I mean, it was even hard to understand him because he kept stuttering. He had a speech impediment. And it was when you're in a business and you need clear and understanding communication, it made for, a shit show at one point. And I said to Christine, I go, do I need to stay here for you to continue to help me? She goes, no, just go, get out of there. I'm like, okay, thank you. So we went to La Quinta and the woman was kind enough. She says, yes, we have a room. And so we got yesterday and we have tonight. So we had a place, but we had to go shopping. We had to get the soap to wipe down Ziva and everything. Poor babies. I mean, we were just, so anyway, first thing this morning, after a phone call with my girl, I had to talk to, I was like, Allison, can I call you? I need to talk to you. So she took time out and, I was able to, so no one wants to take accountability. Exactly, Selena. And I would figure cats were easier than dogs. Thank you, Miss Tarody. Because looking in this room right here, you can tell they've had dogs in here. Makes absolutely no sense. And
It's
then
not
Miss,
so much a deal. I just have to say this. It's
yeah,
not so much that cats are it's not so much whether cats are allowed or not. It shouldn't be something where you have to go deeper to look at it. There should not be an automatic knee jerk pet friendly if you have to go further to see what the hell that means as an employee or as a customer. It should say dog friendly, cat friendly. I mean, it's real simple. This is not a new thing. I guarantee you this has happened many, 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 many times. I'm
oh
done.
yeah,
I just had to say that.
somebody told me, like the girl, her last name was Angel, that helped me out. She goes, you would not be surprised how many people show up here that were booked by AAA that were told that we were cat friendly. Just put it out there on their
It's a
main
cash
page.
grab for them
No dogs.
because
Just
you're going to
say
pay it
dogs
when you're there
only.
or be stuck.
So the alligators. How about the alligators? Alligators, Miss Charity? What's their
She was
position
being
on those? Oh my
sarcastic.
God.
Yeah.
It was yes. I didn't know if that was a misprint. I'm like, what? So alligators are emus are pretty big. They might need an extra pet. Oh my God. So, but also to top it all off, when we were coming back from Walmart, this cat runs out of nowhere in front of my car. And I had to slam on my brakes. Didn't make my passengers very happy, but there was no way I could. Sorry about my hair, guys. It is what it is. I just could not hit and kill somebody's pet. There was just no way I was going to kill this animal. And I was
Or a
so, I mean,
stray,
it was, or straight, it
which
was
it
just
probably was.
unbelievable. 12 hours, mentally, physically exhausted and in pain, having to deal with the damn hotel, having to have to go to Walmart or Target actually, get the spray for Ziva because she was so, had to go on herself. And then, trying to relax, trying to calm down, have that happen again. It was like, welcome to Oregon. I just, at that moment, I thought I must have made the wrong decision. But no, it was just, it was what it was. I don't know if it was a test from Spirit to see, you know, if I was, testing my faith or
You got all
whatever.
your shit within a couple of hours.
I mean, it was
That's the way I
just,
would look at it.
it was immense. It was immense. And hello, Aquarius. That is Carolina. Hello, Carolina. Wait a minute. What's this, Beth? Kristen, I don't think that last comment I made ever got to you. All I said was women who had wings didn't pair well with Lilith, but Spark Tarot amazing. Also talking about pairing of decks. Okay. I know, guys, I just have not been watching YouTube. It's that my eyes are just so tired by the end of the day. I just want to, it's hard to focus on anything. Making sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, it can be very much like a scam. Allison just gave one of the most Aries looks I ever seen. um,
She knows she
so
made the
this
right
morning,
decision.
and this morning we were at Access Agency. We didn't talk to Jessica at first. Somebody named Christina did an intake with us, and she was amazing. Um, she had seen how upset I was, how frustrated I was, and she goes, "Would you like a hug, honey?" And I said, "I would love a hug." And I mean, she was just amazing, and we sat down with her and started, the process of and intakes. If no one knows what that means, with agency, they do the intakes, they fill out the paperwork, they get your information, this and that. So get this: anybody who goes to Social Security office, if you need, like, if you're on Social Security, whether it's disability or not, or regular Social Security, If you need to come up with a copy of your award letter or statement for what you're getting that year, if you can't find it, like ours was all packed somewhere in the car. Um, you used to be able to go to the key. They let you go into the kiosk. The guard didn't say anything to us this morning. We went in, went to the kiosk. They ask you, do you have an appointment? You hit no, so you have to wait sometimes a little longer. You get your and everybody else goes and has their appointments. They get called in. Get this, so we're there an hour and a half. Still, A203 is not called. And the woman gets on the phone and goes, anybody here who does not have an appointment, you need to call the Social Security line and make an appointment. Nobody else will be seen. We lost an hour and a half, almost 2 hours this morning, waiting, thinking that someone was going to see us because Access needed information about our award letters, what we get every month. And so when I called Access, I told her, Christina, I'm like, what do we do now? You know, how? And she goes, well, let me figure something out. I'll call you back. So she called back and she talked to her supervisor. And all we needed to do, because we had to do it anyways, was go down to our bank. We got Key Bank. We had to get like 60 a report printed up of our account for the last 60 days for Shannon and I. And in that includes our Social Security, what we get every month for proof to be able to get the ball rolling. So then, boom, 2 in 1. We went there. The lady was really friendly. Got the printouts for us. We went back to the hotel. They gave us a printout of our receipt of what's going to cost in case we had to stay here. Because Christina says, I'm going to try to get you guys down in Ashland because everybody knows I want to go to Ashland. So that's my dream. And so I know I'm making this long-winded, guys. I'm so sorry. And thanks for watching the chat too, Allison. So we get the receipt from the woman at the desk. We get back to Access. This is, we sit down with Christina and we meet her supervisor. He's like the program director or something at that location. Jim, really nice guy. Oregon takes care of people. The money, the funding that they get to take care of people. You put Miss Taro D. You and Hector ever leave New York, Oregon is the place to come to. You would not believe the amount of money and programs and resources they have to help people, especially sick or veteran or low income. Oh my God. So Shannon and I ended up getting a call back from Christina. And if you hear that, that's Ziva snoring over on Shannon's bed. Um, Not only are they going to be able to help cover our rent when we find an actual place, they'll help us cover our rent for about 5 to 6 months. Um, get this, y'all. They're going to pay for our hotel for up to 60 days. They get enough funding to be able to do that. So tomorrow when we leave here, Ashland's only about maybe half an hour away. They're very close by. And we'll have a couple of hours, 2 or 3 hours to kill. Yes, Shelby, exactly. We'll have about 3 hours to kill, but Shannon, I figure, we can, go sit at the park, go grab something to drink or coffee or whatever. And then we, sign in as 3 o'clock. So she worked so hard to get this to go through for us this weekend. And so next week, somebody will be calling us from the Department for Housing in their agency, and they will start working with us to find an apartment. And we already have some listed that we found, and they even have listings that that really aren't easy to find. They work with, because they go, we got really good landlords that go above and beyond. We got some middle of the road ones, and of course there are going to be, landlords that are not good. And we told them everything about what we've been going through at the other place, and they say, well, you don't want to go back to that. I said, oh hell no. So just really wonderful people all the way around. I can't believe the change, the difference. So yeah, starting next week we can start looking for our apartment. I got a good feeling we'll probably find it maybe within that week, hopefully next week. And then after that, then it's about trying to find out how much it costs to transfer the car over and plates and stuff to Oregon. But I'm telling you, the gas prices, having to constantly fuel for a trip like this, um, I'm wiped out. Thank goodness, Shan had, stuff, was able to save stuff up. Um, so, but yeah, we're relieved. I'll probably have the first real good night's sleep in a long time tonight. Um, so yeah, and you guys, you would not believe how beautiful it was coming in. Now, Allison's been to Ashland, so she knows coming in off of 80. We came in off of 89, and so then jumping onto Interstate 5, and just driving by. I mean, the hills. I mean, here it's just like, oh my God, it's so weird. It's like when I was coming in, I don't know what part it was, but it was just like in my mind, I heard "Welcome home." It was just "Welcome home," and that's why it was so hard yesterday when everything hit, boom, 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 like that. It almost felt like I had someone threw bad juju at me. It just came out of nowhere. I was like, "What the hell?" Um, but you know, shit's being taken care of. So after the storm comes a rainbow. You better believe it, sweetheart. But it's hard to handle something like that when you've been on the road for 12 hours and you're physically
Yeah,
hurting
you're
in
road
places
weary and
and you're
everything else.
exhausted.
And
And yeah, to have that. And hey, Sharon Rue is here, Miss Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot. We are here. Yep, yep. Did you ever get that? You know what, Beth? They still send us another email. Shan dropped that off with our keys when we left Sunday morning. And they emailed us like the next day or 2 days later, still asking for it. I just went ahead and blocked them. I'm like, excuse my language, everybody, but fuck you. I've had
you know
enough of that
what?
place.
Okay, there, you already said it. They can eat shit. I that's just too bad. Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
whatever. Yeah. So crooked. So
yeah.
disgusting. The things
So
that
yeah, I'm
Heather's told
excited
me,
to.
it's horrible.
Uh-huh. And yeah, a lot of people that have been with me for a while now know. And I even told Jim and Christina today, I still have the audio and the photos of what happened to me, what my neck, areas of my body look like from the bed bugs
Yeah.
and the garbage and everything and the damage. I said, I saved those just in case someone ever came to after me and say anything. I'm like, no, you mean all this?
I
So
would save
just kind
all of
of
it
like,
on a file. I'd get it off your phone, honestly, so you don't have that energy with you. But yeah, I would save it.
mm,
Just save it.
especially the audio with that neighbor saying
Just
that he
all
was
of it.
going
Just in
to.
case for a year. I would save it all for a year.
Yeah. So let's see. Tell them Ron email. Yeah. I was going to say need me to put me them in a jar. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yes. Moon Fox. Yeah, you save all of it.
and I haven't heard from anybody in my family. Goodbye. You know. Um I just I miss home already a bit because that's my home. But coming here, it's like a fresh start, And get this, when I got to Access, I was telling them that I used to be with Independent Living of Niagara County, and that I was a peer. I was part of a peer-run organization, and I would,
Hey, Bobby.
advocate, and I would do art programs and stuff. And Christina looked at me and she goes, she goes, we're hiring peer advocates, just so you know. And she smiled at me, and I said, "Oh, okay." So I may even have a small. I told her, once I get settled, I'll reach out. And I told her, I might like to do something with art if I can do some sort of, you know, this may be how I get back on track again. I asked if I needed a certification or something, and she goes, down the line they like you to do some training, but nothing like New York where, they're constantly, I mean, it's ridiculous how much you got to do now for a New York certification. But so yeah, you just never know. And hey, Bobby Boo, How are you, baby? So yeah, we'll just see how things go. And I'll be in Ashland tomorrow. I'm
So
so
beautiful
excited.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I told Christine, I go, well, because Christina said something. I go, oh, I go, yeah, I just want nothing but good juju. She goes, yes, awesome, good juju. And I said, with Ashland, I said, I go, I'll tell you, I go, I'm part of the woo. I love my crystals and everything. And I know they got some beautiful stores on there. She goes, they do. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm really hoping that, and there's a fellow reader too that's going to be in that area. That's in that area that I'm going to be able to meet. She doesn't go on too often, but she does every now and then. And
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
and I'm looking forward
I think.
to seeing her. So let's see. We need pics or a video, Heather, from Ashland, definitely. I've been wanting to do a lot of that stuff at each place, but by the time we get in, um, I just want to, just pop on for a few and then just crash afterwards. And Miss Tarot D says, well, you had a room full of psychics seeing this as a wonderful new beginning. Yes, Miss Tarot D. Yes, yes. Um, so, uh, yeah.
And Heather, I don't know. I think you might have said it, but I don't know if you said it more than once. And for anybody that doesn't know, Heather did all the driving, all of it, every
Hey.
single minute. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And,
exhausting.
and Sharon was my co-pilot. Where are you going? You're going to come up here now and say hi to everybody? Come on. Come on. Oh, come on, you fat ass. Get up here. You lazy. Come here. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. The gratuitous Mozzie up close. Say, hey,
Oh,
everybody, I made it too. He says, I'm in almost my new home now. Yeah.
he's like, I'm still gorgeous. I
So,
travel very well.
oh, yeah, trying to lift that cat carrier with his weight in it. But Shan was constantly in that phone. He was my co-pilot. He kept making sure that even if I couldn't remember hearing something she said, he would let me know up on there. He would keep an eye on, for Popo and stuff and whatnot. So, but yeah, I just can't believe how, I couldn't think to myself, how did I go through all of my savings already with gas when we really weren't paying that much at each stop until California. But then it was because this was a lot longer than I did to Arizona. So I didn't have to fill up as often when I went to Arizona. This was much further out. So that's where, the extra came in. See, Mozzie, everybody's happy to see you. I'll even put that up there right quick. Janet says, it's Mozzie. Yeah, you're looking the wrong way. Yeah, so it is exhausting. And I mean, I love to travel. I'm a Sag, and you guys would not believe how beautiful Wyoming, Nebraska, Utah, the Salt
Utah's,
Lake.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize.
Oh yeah.
And then
Mm-hmm.
when we came in through Nevada, parts of it was just like Georgia O'Keeffe country too, with the rocks and the mountains and everything.
The
I was
West.
just like,
Yeah.
I'll I told Shane, can we just stay here? I'm like, no, we gotta keep going. So, um, but yeah. So I think I'm missing conversations, people. So sorry if I miss. I think most everyone's just saying hello. That was Siva. That was her. Well, she's got the. If everybody could send healing energy to her, because she's got that bad sinus, and Shannon and I are constantly having to clean out dried snot and boogers out her nose because it just keeps, the antibiotics worked. Um, and she was good for almost a week and then it came right back. So the
As
trip
soon
was
as you're
difficult. She struggled.
as soon as you're able, and I know you said you don't have a harness or a collar, makeshift something. I'm serious. Let her get outside and lay on the grass, lay on the ground. I'm telling you, it's very healing for animals and people just to make contact
Mm-hmm.
with the earth. I promise you, it's not crazy. It's not. And she's a cat. It'd be very good for her, and she'd also enjoy it. And that's worth its weight in gold.
Hmm. So we don't know how much longer she's going to be with us, but we're trying to make her as
Yeah,
comfortable and know that
I
she's
would do
loved.
that.
And we got her
Yeah.
her baby food, her Gerber's baby food. She was so happy with that. So she's all happy now. She's got a full belly. She's over there snoring away. Hello, Ellen. I drove across country with 2 cats years ago. I limited the number of hours per day I drove because of them. Ellen, I wish I could have done that too, but we just had so much money. I had to push myself to see how far I can drive to save Shan money because we didn't know how things were going to work out here, and we were trying to, you know, um, I mean, I wish I could have stayed an extra, but they were good for most days. It was just because of being redirected or whatever to that back road. It was one lane, and if you were in front of a tractor and or a freight truck, and you couldn't pass, you were stuck doing even less than the speed limit. So it took us over. Well, by the time we were done, we had driven at least 11 hours or so. So yeah, um, I wish I could have done something, you know, more for them, but you know, they know I love them. They know that I wasn't, yeah. I feel guilty enough, I feel, ashamed enough that my babies had some, had to go through that because I know it wasn't as easy for them, easy either for them. But I think they understand, and they forgive their mama, um, and their daddy. So we show them the love. Miss Moonlight. So do husbands who sleep in the other room. Uh-oh, wait a minute. What happened here? What did I miss? Oh, that was probably. Hey, Aunt. Hello, hello, sweetheart. How are you? Yes, we are here. Utah is gorgeous. We did the four corners. Your husband and I went. Oh, wow, that sounds beautiful. But yeah, I'm telling you, I that section of Wyoming into Utah, Nevada, just breathtaking. I mean, when they said Salt Lake City, I didn't realize there was a huge lake. I'd never seen a picture of it, and when we drove past it, it was like the way the light was. If people know who Cezanne is, that beautiful pastel blue colors in Cezanne paintings, and even like Monet paintings with the Impressionists, how they paint with light, how they looked at the colors with light. It was that soft blue, bluish violet purple haze on the mountains in the distance off the water. I mean, it was breathtaking. And being up those mountains, you know, um, and you just see how small you are, compared to Mother Nature. Just incredible. And let's see. Shelby said, you're not only one who had a really bad day yesterday. I was telling you earlier that oh, your grandmother passed away, Shelby. Oh, honey, I am so sorry. If we can all hold space and send Shelby some energy, some loving energy and hugs. Um, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I miss my grandma, and she's been gone since. I mean, she's such still a part of my life, even in spirit. And I lost her in 20 when I was 23. Um, so my heart, goes out to you, my dear. Um,
I lost both of my
I read a
grandmothers within a
study.
year of
Someone,
my son's birth.
oh, honey, yeah, it's hard. Um, I'm so sorry. Let's see. No reason to feel shame. You did the best you could, and they are very loved. Thank you, Kristen. We did. I keep telling them, I'm sorry, sweeties. Let's see. Sweetly morbid bear. I don't know who you are. Are you? I don't know if somebody changed their channel name, but you're new in chat. So thank you for coming by, hitting the like, spraying the love. Well, thank you very much. Um, I sweetly morbid bear. I love. It's so interesting because bear has been a trade, not a trademark. Bear. There's a Bear River here, so I've been learning the roads and the exits of the I-5 here in Medford and Central Point. and it's all over a place called Bear Creek or Bear River. Is it Bear Creek or Bear River? Shan.
What?
Is it Bear Creek or Bear River?
What's Bear Creek?
Bear Creek. And so it's interesting, sweetly morbid bear. So yeah. There's also a couple of beautiful, like we passed over a place called Medicine Bow. Just some really beautiful names, some really oh, get this. There is a place, I can't remember what state it is, but this is the town, everybody. It is called, wait a minute. It's called Deeth, Deeth, Deeth Star with 2 R's. When you first see it, you thought you were entering Death Star, but it's called Deeth Star. I mean, it was hysterical. But yeah. Hi, Althea. Yes, we made it to Oregon. Had a rough patch last couple of days, but that's hopefully. I mean, there's going to still be some bumps in the road, I'm sure. Kind of trying to get things figured out with agencies and trying to figure and work things out. But yeah, things are really coming together. So thanks for stopping in and saying hi, because I know you're usually in bed by 8 or 9 o'clock.
Don't forget about Howell LaGrange.
Huh? Oh, yeah, LaGrange. How. Everyone knows who, ZZ Top. They have a song called LaGrange. And he goes, a how. There was actually a how LaGrange. It was funny. Let's see. Shelby said, thank you, everyone. She was my best friend and my mother, but she would want to be just enjoying life as much as she did. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. And Beth said, I lost my dad 4 days after my 4th child was born. It was difficult. Oh, boy. Let's see. I don't know if I'm missing anything else. She was very ill for 6 months, had these bad wounds on her legs, and they just wouldn't heal. And she had lung disease, and her heart wasn't doing good. Oh, I'm so sorry, honey. Oh, and Selena says, hi, Shan. Yeah, he's over here watching TV with the captions on. Oh, that's beautiful, Allison.
And Moon Fox, you don't. Go ahead. There's a delay. Sorry, go ahead, because you're on that.
It's probably my because we got.
Yeah, it's fine. Internet. Go ahead. Yep.
No, I was just going to read her last comment from Shelby. Was I had a reading and a chat with Amanda from Tropical Empress. Yeah, we used to hang out with Amanda. She pops in every now and then. So, and Althea says hi, Shan, too. Here, let's just do this. Say hi, Shan.
Oh, hello.
There we go. So everyone's got several people saying hi to you. So, but yeah, so that's been my week. How was yours, Allison? I'll let someone else talk now for a while.
It was
that doesn't sound good.
It was fine. It's just I'm really tired of and you can relate to this. And we'll talk more about it. The day is not the day for me to talk about it, but the driving, okay. It's just honestly, I think a big part of the problem, actually I know a big part of the problem is and I'll I don't want to open the can of worms because I'll just end up getting really mad. I don't want to talk about it, but the whole legalization of marijuana is a huge problem. It's a huge problem. Unfortunately, something that was supposed to be a good thing, people just aren't ready to handle it and be adults and grown-ups and follow laws and keep their stoned asses at home. They want to drive. And it's a real
we had that problem.
It's no different than driving around with a can of beer or getting all drunk and getting in your car, whether you're smoking pot in the car, which is not any better than drinking something when you're driving, or getting all stoned or drunk and getting in your car and thinking that you can drive good, or that you'll be okay. I'm over it. I am so over it. And I've never been anti, at all, but and I'm sure there are people. I know that there's people that do what they're supposed to do. Get stoned and stay home. But you're not supposed to. I mean, you can ride just like drunk. You can ride passenger, sure. But getting your stone stupid ass behind the wheel, no. Mm-mm. It's a real problem, and I really can't wait until they have a way to pull people over and test them. Just like when you're drunk. And
Yeah.
something else in Michigan, I'll say this much. I don't want to goof this up, so I might be slightly off on how this works, but this is a thing. I just don't know the fine details. They pull you over and your car smells like pot. They aren't allowed to search your car. So you can be driving around with your car reeking like pot, and so it's just messed up.
Everyone's agreeing with you in chat. Yeah.
Anthony, not to bring Anthony into this, but my partner, as you know, he oversees a really long-standing, very popular, highly successful auto garage, right? All the time, vehicles that they get into, and they're busier than anybody, and the car just reeks like dope. Just reeks like it, which means you're driving. I mean, it's very unlikely that it's just your passenger sitting there getting stoned and you're not smoking. It's a joint activity usually. Yeah, a lot of people solo. Okay, so you're solo driving and smoking pot in your car. It's just really gross, and I'm just over it. And we have so many bad drivers on the road and so many accidents, and I just don't think that it's much of a coincidence that since it became this way, that the driving has just gotten worse and worse and worse, and there's a connection. And I saw something today that was just, and I'll talk about it another day. It's just really, 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 really bad. Really bad. And I'm tired of it. I'm sick of it. It's disgusting. My son is on the road. People that I love are on the road. I drive children for a living. Keep you and your dope at home. I don't care if anybody smokes pot. I smoked pot for years. I'm clean. I don't do anything. But I don't care if anybody else smokes pot. Just don't drive. Stay home. Or take anything that's going to make you tired or brain dumb or numb, and anybody that says that it doesn't do that, okay, well, whatever. That's not true. Yeah, it's just sad. And yeah. There's been a lot of
and we're in a state now that's legalized.
It's a problem. So I don't know what it's like in other areas, but where I am,
there's a.
Oh, sorry, the lag. Go ahead.
I know. I'm sorry, hon. I know there's a really bad lag. But in Oregon they allow it, and they did let people know when you watch videos about moving to this area that there's going to be something called harvest time, and people sometimes choose to wear a face mask because you will be able to smell the harvesting or whatever, and it can be very strong. And I'm like, yay! But it's still a better situation than of course where we were in New York. So
you smell it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
And Althea says, "Tell us how you really feel, Aaron."
Oh, I am holding back.
Yeah.
Because it's bullshit. Yeah. People are dying. There are accidents regularly, daily. You cannot drive impaired, stoned safely. You can't do it.
They're allowing it in New York. Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to, though. You're not supposed to do it in New York either. You're not allowed to be stoned and drive. You're not allowed to be stoned and drive anywhere. They're doing
know,
it, but
but
they're
I
not
mean,
allowed to do it. It's illegal. For once,
yeah, and I have
it's
a
a
friend.
federal law. It's a federal law.
Hmm.
But individual states have legalized it, but you're never supposed to drive high. Period. I don't care what state you're in. You're not allowed to drive high any more than you're allowed to drive drunk.
And they know that they don't have enough law enforcement to, to be able to enforce it. I mean, my friend, back in Buffalo, I would drive around with her, and we would go to a public park, and she would be walking around taking puffs off of it, and then she would drive with me, or she would go and drive, and I'm like, but she goes, no, I'm fine. I'm not guilty. I'm just like, okay, whatever. And yeah, it's just keep believing that, I just hope these people don't cause an accident and kill somebody.
Well, I'm going to start calling it in every time I see it. I just decided today.
Let's see. So people are so everybody, just so you know that there's issues with Drake and with me with my mouse and my iPad. So I am seeing people's comments. A lot of people are agreeing with you. And Miss Tara D mentioned texting and driving. You got that. You have people, doing everything else. I mean, there's just real, and then you got road rage. People are in a hurry to get to hell. I can't tell you how many times I was driving here and people just could not do even just 5 over the speed limit. It had to be 15, 20 or so, just flying right by you. And it's just like, and let's see. Allison, I've done that, called in reckless driving when the driver seemed impaired. So Beth did the same thing as also. And Allison, doesn't your bus have a video camera?
First, Moonfox said calling it in, like calling the cops. Yes, and they won't do anything, Moonfox, but it is recorded. And so if that person gets into an accident, it's there. And that is not good for the person that got called it in. So, yep. And then Isadora, it does, honey, but it's not what you're thinking. The cameras there's 4 of them for the interior of the bus. And then there's 2 on the exterior. One is straight out the windshield and it only goes, I think, 6 feet. And then on the side, if you blow my stop sign, when I'm stopped doing a bus stop for the kids, if you blow by my stop sign, it automatically takes a picture of your car as it passes and gets the license plate and all that. And you get a ticket in the mail. So yeah.
That's endangering the life of a child. People just need to, I just don't know what's the matter with them. I saw a couple of buses on the interstates and with white people drive. I don't know if they were on if there were any kids in there, if they were on a field trip on some of these, but I'm just like, when I see the school buses, I just ask the angels extra, please protect if there's any kids or people, on
if it's
those
any consolation, and thank you for doing that, a school bus, you can even Google this, a school bus it's the safest way to transport. Tons of studies were done. It's funny, I had somebody asking, actually it might have been on one of our lives, but I'm not sure that it was. I feel like I was online at the time, but maybe not. Like, why don't they have seat belts and da 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 da? There is so much research that was put into that, and those seats are so padded and they're so tall. Like my elementary kids, because I have 1 kindergartner, I have 4, 5 first graders, and the rest of them are second graders. They can't even see over the seats, and all I can literally see are the tops of their heads. The bus weighs 6 ton, and it's 40 foot long. And so, anyways, we would have to get hit by a semi truck for it. The kids are not going to get hurt on the bus. They're not. Like every once in a while, I have to really lock up the brakes because we are required to stop if we can, like at a yellow, but you can't always gauge everything and whatever. So if I have to really do a hard stop, which they hate it when I do it but if you're sitting in your seat the way you're supposed to be on your bottom facing forward, it's fine. But if you're turned around, as they say, talking to your neighbor, or doing something else you're not supposed to do. It'll tousle you around a little bit, but those kids aren't going to get hurt on the bus.
So Althea's taking off. Thank you, Althea, for joining us. I know she has a friend, Jazz, who did a great reading for me, mini reading a few weeks back. And I know she's up in Portland. So I know I have some peeps in the area that I'm going to hopefully at some point be able to meet and say hello with. And but yeah, a lot of people too are also like Shelby says, I saw a video of kids about to get on the bus when a car speeds by, like right in front of the door. They were so close to being hit. People just either they don't care or
I've seen
they're
several of those. Mm-hmm.
they're in their phones or they're doing other things that they shouldn't be. So
Can I say one thing?
Sure.
Oh, Moonfox is the one that said that. So I don't know how old that video is, and I don't know if it's the same one, but there was one that went viral and I saw it. I've seen several. My bus, and this is part of the reason that our buses are like this, and buses are different across the country, right? And it also depends on what company you work for and all that. But our buses, my bus, when I'm approaching a stop, I put on my amber lights. So you have the yellow lights all over the bus. And then when I stop and open the door, all those yellow lights turn off and the red lights come on. And also a stop sign comes out from the side of my bus. And then there's also a bar that comes out of the front. And the kids are only allowed to get on and off door side, so the right side of the bus. So they're never crossing in front of the vehicle, right? And so some of my stops are way out of the way. They're not the most efficient way to get there, but it's because the kids have to get on and off from the right side of the bus. But the stop sign that comes out is the only, I'm going to butcher this. I don't remember how it's worded, but it's the only vehicle that puts out a stop sign that you have to obey like any other true traffic signal, right? So you're required. And what was happening is that people will ignore it, or they'll come up to it and like stop and then think it's okay and then go, or you'll have somebody just blows right by it. Well, about a year ago, they installed the cameras and they started sending people tickets at their homes. People were flipping out. The word got out, man, because everybody stops. And the funny thing, it's not funny, it's actually kind of annoying. People will see me in certain areas and they just stop. Like they don't know what to do. It's like they got the message, but they're not sure, but man, they're not going.
Should I go now?
Like, oh, it's hilarious. Like I'll pass a car. It's usually an old person. Sorry, but it's true. You'll pass somebody in a subdivision and they'll just stop.
Like Kristen.
It's like I'm just driving. I don't have anything going, or after my bus is empty, I have to pull over with my hazards on and do what's called a child check with my tablet. It's an electronic check-in. It's saying that you check the vehicle. There's no children on it. That's why that's so no kids ever get left on an empty vehicle, which has happened many times in the United States,
Niagara
right?
Falls,
That's a whole horrible, So, but anyway, so we do that, and our company's never had a child left on the bus, which is actually a good thing to be able to say. But anyways, people don't know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do, and it's not really even funny. It's another example of just bad driving. People don't know their laws. And they don't know what to do.
And Beth said, I used to think that's how you did it. The stop would come out, and I thought you stop, look both ways, and then go. So,
no, what you do is, and it is explained, or it should be by your state, like here, you stay stopped until that sign comes in. The stop is out. It's a red light, right? Which is explained, or it should be. Like in Michigan, it's explained if you're paying attention. Part of the problem, I think, and then I'll stop my rant. Part of the problem is that people can renew by mail, and that has to stop. Because we got a lot of people on the road that don't know what the hell they're doing. In Michigan, lots of people, just either they don't care, they're high, they're whatever, they're they don't have their faculties anymore, shouldn't be driving, whatever it is. But I think you should have to take a road test after a certain age every couple of years. And then you should have to take just a written test there and a vision test. The vision test is huge too. You can do so much of this stuff by mail, but I think it's a money grab because they know people are, it sounds so bad, but there's going to be
I'm hoping
accidents.
when I
There's money
switch-
to be made. They can hand out tickets. They can do all kinds of stuff. And it's like, it's a lot of people should be yeah. Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't have to take a road test, for here. It's just like, I don't know.
Why? Why not?
I mean, I know I'm a good driver, but
You shouldn't worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it. And if you don't pass it, you shouldn't pass it. And then you just study the material they want you to learn, and then you'll pass it. Everybody should be able to pass a driving test to be on the road.
There was something that caught my attention. This is adorable. Beth says, Allison, have you ever seen that video from Alaska of the bus full of dogs heading to doggy daycare? The driver picks up each dog at a stop.
Yes.
A little kid. Oh my God.
I've actually seen several, so I don't know which one you're talking about, but yes. And there's somebody on YouTube that I don't know if it's their channel or if they just posted it on their channel or what, but there's a couple different school buses that have been converted, and they go around and they pick up the dogs and they take them to their doggy daycare, and it's freaking hilarious. The dogs are all excited and they run out and they get on the bus and they hop in their seat, which of course the dog's going to do. They're so smart. I mean, they only have to do it a couple of times and they know, right? And dogs love rhythm and pattern. It's safe and they just learn, right? But yeah, it's adorable. Yep. I love that.
And so Miss Moonlight says, Heather, I did not know that people could feed cats baby food. Is it a treat? When Mozzie had all his teeth removed, when we a few years back, he wasn't even able to eat the wet food, like out of the can. And the cat rescue that helped cover his dental, because of them doing so many pet rescues and sponsoring, one of the things that I was recommended was baby food because there's a lot of protein in it. So Mozzie and Ziva get a little bit every day, especially Ziva because she's 19 now. She likes her hard food, but she does like her baby food, and she gets just a little bit at different intervals during the day when she gets hungry. And it's high protein. There's sugar in it, yes, but I don't know. Ziva seems to enjoy it, and I mean, there was a food that they wanted me to give her from the vet, but I can't afford a $75 bag of cat food. They just threw it so much, and so when I had to get the baby food for Mozzie, Ziva took to it, and I said, "Well, there you go," and she enjoyed that, and so yeah, and because she's lost a tooth, also, it's hard. She still likes her hard, but she does enjoy the baby food. But we give them meat, so it's chicken, turkey. There's a beef, and there's a ham. Not so much the ham because cats really aren't supposed to have ham, but they really enjoy the chicken, the turkey, or the beef to go along with the harder food, so that there's a balance to that. And Selena said, I know I'm behind, but Selena said, I slammed on my horn because an incoming car didn't slow down to stop at a bus stop for the kids. And she says that was just last month. So let's see. I'm probably very far behind. So everyone's sharing. Hello, Judith. Hello. Um, let's see. Yep, I'm with Elson. My grandmother was a driving instructor, and she would tell me there are a lot of people who can't even walk. I mean, at least Shan knows his limits. There are people, even in worse condition than Shan and age, that are still driving. There was a woman in not Flagstaff, in Niagara Falls, that she could barely walk. She would go in they would have to come out and pump her own gas for her because she couldn't do it. She was too frail to pump her own gas, but she's behind the wheel driving.
Right,
I
which is
just,
total. I mean,
yeah.
and I'm sure she's a lovely lady. That has nothing to do with it.
But I see a lot of
You
that.
have
People
poor
with the-
reaction time. You can't even steer effectively. I mean, there's just no, no, no. My mom, thank God, my mom stopped driving. She should have stopped driving sooner than she did. But when my mom finally realized or whatever, she was like, I'm not driving anymore. And it's because my mom had was starting to get cataracts on her eyes and she couldn't see and she knew she wasn't going to have the surgery and she just stopped driving. So it's knowing, and just not letting your ego get in the way and knowing when, because there's people that know they shouldn't be driving, or maybe they don't know, or they're too lost in their own whatever. And anyways, that's another reason right there. That would take care of that, right? If you have to show up and you have to pass some certain something, your vision, your physical abilities, a written test, come on.
I know a couple people were saying, at best that it's probably DMV not having enough personnel to renew everyone every time. That's quite possible. And
There is
also,
so much money to be made there. No, there's more money
no,
to make with the accidents and everything else for the state. That's what it is.
there you go.
And here you have to make an appointment. You can't just walk in. Like I saw Miss Hero D, what she said earlier, and I don't know if that's how it was. Like she said, she waited, whatever. Like in Michigan, you make an appointment. You no longer can just walk in. Since COVID, they changed it and they kept it that way. It's actually very efficient. You go in, you know what you need. They make sure you know what documents you need, because it used to be such a pain in the ass, right? You'd go in there and you got your 400 pieces of paper, and then sure enough, you don't have XYZ and you need XYZ, right? And then you got to come back another day. And remember all that BS? We've all been there, I would think. But now you go on, you schedule what you're going to do. It tells you what documents you're going to need. You have them all. You go in for your appointment. Bang, bang, bang. You're out of there. It's very efficient. It's nice. That's one thing Michigan has figured out.
And Beth said it's just not eyesight and slow reflexes. They also need to check neck and arm.
Oh, all of it.
All
Yeah,
of it.
you should, a very basic, something, right? But and if you can't answer questions, why not? And the vision test, hearing test, some sort of reflex, something very simple. And if you can't pass it, well, and then maybe there's a stage 2 if like, oh, but da 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 or whatever, something, but not just letting everybody have a pass because they sent in their $48. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And Isadora says, and I remember this because this happened in New York and Buffalo at a Chi Burger. There was an elderly woman. She put the car in forward instead of reverse, drove through and killed a family, 2 grandparents and a child that were having dinner.
Right.
And Beth mentioned it that's happened too. And hello, Ramon. I did see your message earlier. Just been so busy, my dear. And I thought of you again today, Ramon. We were in Walmart and Holiday came on, and I said, "Oh, Holiday!" And then we got to the hotel, and I saw that you reached out to me, and I went, "Oh my goodness, what coinkydink." So I hope you had a great week, Ramon. We are in Oregon. Been a rough couple of days, but we're here. And Miss Taro D said we had an appointment, but there were so many people. We had all our documents except our social security card. We had to go all the way back home and find them and return back to the DMV just to do it. Wow.
I'm curious if they're doing both. And some states are where you can have an appointment or you can do a walk-in. Because if you had an appointment, you shouldn't have been waiting for long. You know what I'm saying? So they probably do both. Yeah. I know a lot of states do.
And Beth said that doesn't mean they have the personnel. Lots of agencies are understaffed. Go to California and you'll wait all day for very
Well, you just schedule it.
forma.
You just schedule it out, and you have a allotted time before your birthday when it expects. There's a way to do it. The answer, yeah, the way it's being done now, no, no. And the road test needs to be done too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But let me tell you, my driving skills were put to the test. I still could not possibly drive in a city like, Boston or New York or wherever the way people drive there. But I got into some moments where rush hour traffic, or you get into an area that's got a lot of cars coming and going, especially today in the hub of the area where we're at. And you really need to be on your game. I don't know how people can, possibly drive even slightly impaired and be able to handle,
They can't.
the quick lane.
That's why there's so
I
many
mean,
accidents.
it just, when Shan and I did that one live a couple of nights, when he said that he was proud of me for the way I drove and how I handled myself. Damn right I did. And I was like, thank you, Dad, because I had everybody every day I keep calling in the whole spirit team, drive with me, protect me, help me to make good decisions. There was just one incident where I thought I saw somebody coming, but I went to go make the turn because I figured, I would be able to get her, and the guy didn't slow down. My car didn't speed up because I had the weight on it. And he got really angry at me, honked at me. But that was the only time since last Sunday, And so just because of the weight in the car, it took, it slowed me down a bit to make that one turn. But otherwise, no. I mean, a couple times I was white knuckling, especially going down the switchbacks and up and down between the mountains and everything in Utah and in Wyoming and stuff. You really need to be on your game to be able to physically hold onto that wheel to be able to guide. And I mean, yeah, it really put me through the ringer. It really showed that, you know, I'm a good driver. Am I an excellent like a race car? Man, probably not, but because there are some people that can just, zoom in and out and they can cause accidents too.
But that's not what you're supposed to be doing.
No.
No, you're not supposed to be doing that. And not necessarily connected to what you just said. The one thing that we had really drilled into us, as a school bus driver, you have to have a completely clean record. You can't have anything on there, right? At least for the company that I work for. But when you're driving, and this was such a great, and I didn't used to do this, and I do it now. I definitely do it when I'm driving the bus. You're always supposed to see what's a quarter mile ahead of you. You're watching everything way up the road, what is going on, as well as what's right in front of you, following the proper distance and watching, peripherally, all this back and forth, constant, and keeping your speed, all of it. If you can do all of those things, you can prevent most anything. If you're on it and paying attention, not distracted, not listening to music, not talking to your neighbor, not talking on the phone, just driving.
Yeah.
And most people look right in front of them. They don't watch what's coming. And that alone, who knows, maybe there's somebody here that needs to hear that. And again, it's not necessarily connected to what Heather was just talking about, but that one thing, and I do that all the time now. Also, I never turn right on red anymore, ever, at all, especially in Ann Arbor because of how it is here. I don't turn left on yellows anymore, either flashing yellows, not unless there's nobody coming at all. It is because people are so unpredictable and do so much stupid stuff. Those things are huge. We're not allowed to turn right on red. And so I've just gotten into the habit and I just do that. And you don't have to. You're not legally required to turn right on a red anyhow. But anyways, yeah, the looking ahead is huge. Quarter mile down the road, especially on the freeway. Oh my God, especially on the freeway. Yes.
Then trying to see what's behind you, because there are times when I'm driving, next thing I know, I'm looking at my rear view and I got some freaking
when you're turning
right up
or changing
ass.
lanes. Yes, of course. I mean, that's just driving.
even when it's not busy and they want to pass you, I mean, there are times when, depending on the traffic, if there was no cop, showing on the app to try to make up time, I'm like, well, this is a deserted road, it's a stretch. I'll push over, and I'll go more than over five, over the speed limit. But there are some people who didn't, just wanted to do at least 20 over, and I'm looking, and but vroom, they come flying right up in your eyes. I'm like, wow, give me a second to get over. So it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, and
I'm just
people
glad that
speed
we're
and
here safely.
yes. Yes. And a lot of people don't do, actually, I'm not even going to, yeah.
I can't drive 55. Yeah, a lot of people can't even drive 80. They got to do
Well, a lot of
90,
people get in the left
95.
lane. They get in the left lane and they're not going fast enough to be in the left lane.
Yeah,
You
but
see
there's
that all the time. You're going to get your ass ran over. You can't do that. You can't do that. You see
yeah,
that a
but
lot
there's
too.
no
I mean,
what
I
I
could write a
switch
book.
over.
I could write a book on the stuff that I see. If you're doing the speed limit or 5 over, you stay in your right lane. You stay
Yeah.
in your right lane. You do not even touch the left lane
But
unless you're
is
going to
it there's
speed up
no
and pass somebody, or if you're going to be staying at a good 10 to 15 or whatever over the speed limit. That's a passing lane.
yeah, but people who wanna, you get over for people, and even if you're already doing 5 over or so, they still come flying by you. I'm like clocking them, like, my God, they gotta be doing 95.
And you're in the right
Like,
lane.
I'm yeah, I'm in the slower lane, but not no, but I'm saying I get over for them as they're coming up that, that inside lane because they want to go faster. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting over. It's all right. I'll be doing 85. Let's say 80. There was a couple stretches where we were allowed to do 80. I would push it and do 85, sometimes maybe 87, just to see how I felt control of the wheel and stuff and whatnot. Some wind areas you couldn't do that with my weight because that was, a hazard for driving. But I would, move over, get into that, into the outside lane, and
The
people would
right
still go
lane.
by me clocking over, 90 at least on an 80. And I'm just like, damn, or even more. So, and hello, Linda. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. Hello, hello, my dear. Um,
Yeah, some
so
areas are fast too. 65 is our highest speed here.
so let's see. So Shelby's talking about my grandma would tell me, wait a minute, where we got oops, sorry. Well, there we go. It's on the screen. My grandmother would tell me on your brakes when entering the intersection and grab the lane closest to you when entering lanes. Some people don't even give you that opportunity. You're trying to even enter and they're flying up and you're trying to get over. I mean, I can't remember where we were driving. It was, I don't know if it was necessarily rush hour. I think it might be rush hour traffic. And, you can't go over the speed to keep traffic going so you don't jam up traffic. But the speed limit was at least 65. There were people cutting in and out around everybody doing at least 70, 75 or more. I'm just like, how the hell are they doing this without causing an accident is beyond me. Yeah, so, but I'm here. We're here. So we made it.
There's so much bad driving. A lot of people just get frustrated and then that doesn't help anything. And then they start rage driving and whatever. Like I'm frustrated beyond all hell and I'm an excellent driver. I am. But I just drive. You can't be out there doing crazy stuff. You just
and I
can't.
and I don't want to be afraid of driving because I love to drive. I just love getting behind a wheel and just going, you know. So sometimes I gotta get past that fear. I get up in the morning and I would be kind of nervous, thinking, "Oh boy, what am I going to?" But then we get on the road, relax, calm down, make it through. If there were any, you know, I can't think of the word. I'm brain dead. It's been a while. It's been a long day. So,
It's been a
but
long
yeah,
week.
I don't want to psych my, self out on the road. But at the same time, there are times when Shan would just be. I'm like, no, 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 not right now. Hang on. Okay, what's just to be able to get in and out, and yeah. So if I didn't have my co-pilot, it would have been a lot hairier for me if this was just me alone nowadays. When I first traveled across country, well, to at least Arizona on my own, when I was 30, there wasn't cell phones like they are now, this and that. People were, uh-oh, Miss Tarot D. Should have smoked some pot, Heather, when you were Miss Tarot D. No. No. And I've had people, you know what, Miss Tarot D, I've had some people I know who have used that and saying, well, people who get high and driving, they're less likely to cause accident because they're more cautious when they're driving.
Okay.
It goes more.
God. Smoke another one.
Nope. I had a friend send us through a red light when we were already stopped at the red light. When you get to an intersection and you have two turning lanes that are red arrows, they go, you get the green arrows, you stop there, and then the other side goes green. Well, yeah. And
I don't know what you mean. We don't have that here, but just people.
It was an intersection, and as we're coming up, you have the two lanes, the arrows, they go green, you go that way, and then those go red, so you can't make the turns, but the rest of the two lanes can, continue going. When those went red, when these ones were already red, what did she do? She just went and hit the gas and went, what did you? You're going through a red. And she's like, oh, she goes, that's all right.
You mean two lefts and two rights?
No. So you get up to an intersection,
right,
and you got two or one arrow, red arrow, that makes you turn into, the other lane, the other opposite road. And so
the right turn.
Well, left turn. It could be left. I think it's mostly the left one. Girl, I'm so brain dead right now, but
it's okay. I'm just saying you have lanes next to each other. There's arrow going this way, arrow going that way. It's left and it's right. I mean, those are the only choices.
Well, when you're at a light, you have the ones coming towards you that go that way, and then you have they go that way. So they get to go first, and then those lights turn red, and then the opposite sides of turn green for them to go. Well, yeah. She went and turned right into after both sides went red, and I'm like, what are you?
So
and she took two.
On two separate occasions. Once was probably almost a year ago now, just being honest, probably about a year ago or close to it, 9 months at least. Not that it matters. And then once more recently, once I was driving the bus, the other time I was in my car. Both times actually, that part doesn't matter. What I witnessed was we're all sitting in a traffic light. The left lane gets the green arrow.
Oh,
the two right lanes stay red. And the idiot in both of these situations drove through the intersection. When the left turn got a green arrow, when they had a red light right in front of them. I saw this not once, but twice. I would bet my life both times. Well, I know they were impaired, but probably they were high both times. How in the fuck are you going to go on a red light because the lane next to you just got a green arrow? I'll tell you. Because your brain is not right. Right then. You cannot comprehend what's going on. You should not be driving. You're lucky you're not dead. You just go through a red light. By the grace of God, you didn't get completely jacked by a car coming the other way. Or worse yet, they got injured or killed. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I saw it once, like I said, almost a year ago. It was on my school route last year, so sometime, around this time of year, because I remember it was nice weather. And there were kids on board, so I couldn't say anything. And I'm like I'm freaking out at what I just saw. And then it just happened. I don't know, a few weeks ago, I was on my way to Anthony's one afternoon, early evening. And I was just like, wow. Wow.
I mean, I
Yep.
accidentally, was it a couple months ago? I can't remember if it was this year or last year. I was distracted driving. Jan was telling me something, and I was thinking about something that needed to be done that day. And next thing I know, accidentally going through a red light. And I was like, Heather, gotta snap out of it. And I got really scared. I didn't hit anybody. People saw me. It wasn't enough time, but because the other ones had changed yet. I didn't know. You people were just really got to be careful. That's why for a while I was scared about driving, but then had to make sure that from then on I was getting grounded more. I was less distractions. If I'm coming up into intersections and I'm driving with Shannon, tell them, hold on, save something from, hold from sharing something with me. Let me get through this area so that I'm not, distracted. I mean, I felt awful.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
this is going to be really unpopular, but I really don't care. People have to focus when they're driving and know your own limits. If you can't hold a conversation, don't. If you can't talk on the phone through your Bluetooth, like here in Michigan, you can't even talk on the phone. You have to do it through your Bluetooth on your vehicle. That's the other thing. I didn't even get into this. People are on their phones all the time. I see it all the time.
Hey, Tom.
When I'm out driving. They're looking at their, I don't know, Facebook or whatever at a stoplight. I had a lady behind me when I was on my way to Trader Joe's the other day after work. I could see her in my rearview mirror on her phone. You could tell she was all digging whatever she was doing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Put your phone down. Put your phone away. Get off your phone. That's another reason for all the accidents. People are on their phones all the time.
Went up because insurance companies are paying out more than they're taking in, and so they're making everybody else, replenish their profits. Even though I had an accident over it'll be over 2 years. Yeah, it's been more than 2 years. But she said that's dropped off. I said, so why am I still at $239 a month? And she's like, it's because y'all pay into the pot. She goes, we've been having to pay out more than we've been taking in. And she says, you got to help foot the bill. I'm like, this isn't right. But
yeah, there's a thing where it might come off your how does that work? It stays on, at least in Michigan, I think. I can't remember how it works. It'll come off your driving, but yet it stays on the insurance. There's like an extra year. That's how it is in Michigan. We're also no fault here. So you want to talk about expensive insurance. Yeah. The way to have your insurance be cheap is you don't have any tickets and no accidents. That's how you keep your insurance down.
Well, I had no accidents driving until I got back to New York. And one was a guy was in front of me. It was a truck. I couldn't see past him. And he was going, I went thinking, okay, the light's still. And by the time I realized he had gone through, just as the light was changing, I was starting to go into, and I had to hit my gas, even though the light was red, to get myself out of the way. And the woman on the opposite side didn't see. And we clipped. And I just felt awful. It was just for a while there, I was afraid to drive. And then the way people, just started driving because of the cell phones, the road rage. I started really questioning my ability to drive. And I said, I don't want to lose this yet. I go, this is one of the things that I love to do is to drive. And I wasn't ticketed or anything because, well, first of all, she was driving illegal with what was going on with her car. But again, that was over, 3 years ago, no tickets. So hopefully, my insurance will, at least being, in Oregon down in this area, hopefully my insurance will improve and it'll go down from, at least hopefully drop maybe under 200 would be nice. to be able to save me some, some money. But hey, Tom, I saw that you came in. I
Your
reached out to
policy is 200.
every month. I have to pay $239,
Ooh.
and I
Oh my
asked.
God.
That's why I asked my, State Farm rep. Why is that? I mean, it's been over 2 years, and she
That's
says,
$1,200 for a policy of 6 months.
mm-hmm. And she says it's because people are there because it's because State Farm is paying out more than they're taking in, and she goes, the rest of us have to help, replenish the pot. She goes, that's what the insurance is all about,
That's why
But
Michigan's no fault, because of all the people that were accidents and then they didn't have insurance or they were paying on a lot, da 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 da. And it sucks because no fault. Yeah, but and
so
that
I'm
way
hoping.
your insurance covers your, if you want to report it anyways. A lot of people get their cars wrecked and you can see them and then they don't get them fixed because they don't want to report it on their insurance because your insurance rates go up. So if you're not at fault and you're not ticketed, you got to decide whether or not to report it because your rates are just going to go up.
So I'm hoping, it goes down when I switch over to Oregon. And if they can't give me a good rate, then I'll probably look somewhere else. But I've been with State Farm since 2003.
There's
So
no reason to be devoted to State Farm. I just left them a few months ago. You can get better insurance than State Farm.
probably.
Yes.
It's another thing on the list to do.
I mean, I get it. I was loyal to lots of different companies for years and years and years, but I finally realized, there's no, it's not like, there's certain things where it looks better to be there a long time, but something like that, it doesn't matter. No.
No, when I left Arizona, back in 2008, my insurance every month was $60, and now welcome to the times. $239
My
a
policy
month.
on my car is $600. Now that's no fault in Michigan, and that's full coverage and full
Wow.
the whole, what is it called? A broad end collision, which is like the best coverage that you can have, 600. So it breaks down to, and I pay the whole thing at once because it's cheaper by like $100. No, I paid 500. It would have been 600 if I'd done it. But if you pay the whole, and a lot of companies do that too, if you can figure out a way to do it. If you pay it ahead or you're able to do it, if you just pay for it all, you get a discount. It's less expensive.
Beth said, I had a good friend who swore by Geico, less expensive rates and good customer response.
It depends. I researched it and looked all over the place. The deal is this.
Oops.
Every state's going to be different. It depends on your driving record, how long you drive. Do you have a lien on your car? That's the other thing. My car is paid for. Do you have a lien? What your driving record looks like, how long you've been driving, how far you drive to work, assuming that you're working. All these things factor in, right? Do you have a clean record? Do you have any tickets? Do you have any accidents? I mean, all this stuff. So it just depends. And I've been with Geico, I've been with Progressive, I've been with State Farm, I've been with Liberty. I've done them all over the years. And I was with State Farm the longest, but I did switch recently. So yeah, because it was just they couldn't give me a better deal when I got my new car. And they had something going on with their back office that they just could not get. I'd made multiple phone calls and it was such a simple thing for them to correct and they just didn't do it. And I was like, I'm over this. This is ridiculous. Also, after hours, you can't even talk to a real person there anymore. Can you believe that? State Farm is huge. They've been around forever. And unless you're starting a new policy or reporting an accident, there's no human beings to talk to after 6 o'clock. That's ridiculous. They are huge. No. Mm-mm.
Tom says,
No.
I have NJM and it's great. Who is NJM? Tom.
It might be something local to him.
Yeah, maybe. I do have AAA. I may look into seeing what my insurance might be with AAA. And Tom, really quick, everybody, I reached out to Tom today with there's a forest fire now in New Jersey, and I reached out to Tom to see make sure that he was okay, him and his wife and the fur babies. Guess they're further up from it, but still sending you lots of protective light and love, Tom, and hope that those guys get that contained as soon as possible. And Beth says she's with Allstate. It was an NJ. Oh, okay. It was over now. Oh, okay.
So what I did, I can't remember the name off the top of the head. First time I had done it, I called basically it's like a car insurance headhunter, and that Anthony used. I called this guy, and I didn't pay any fee. It's paid on the back end by the insurance company that you end up going with. So this guy puts in all your information, comes back, gives you a few different, they do all the legwork. And then he came back and he was like, here they are. And I picked which one I wanted, and it was done like within no time. That wasn't one of them, but yep.
Uh-huh. So Ramon, are you closer to the fire? Oh my goodness. I hope everybody on the East Coast
God,
is
New
safe.
Jersey, huh?
Of all places, Tom, do they know? Because we don't watch the news, as I try to avoid watching the news. I just went because Shan found MTV Classics, and my God, there's like an old Queensryche video on, and I'm just like, oh my God. So it's like flashback. But so Ramon says, no, I'm not okay. So yeah, I'm sorry. I want squirrel there for a second. But yeah. I think I'm starting to kind of crash, y'all.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't even remember what I was going to say. And I'm just looking at the screen and my mind's just glazing over. But yeah, car insurance, yeah. I'm hoping to get my bills down, because I have a couple of loans now that I have to pay off that I refinanced, to get loans to be able to have the extra. And thank goodness I did that, because definitely thank God I got those brakes, because I would not have made those inclines and declines with the old brakes and with the new tires that I got. So very blessed for that.
Yeah, and
that's
it
what I
would
was
have
asking.
totally screwed your brakes up bad if you hadn't gotten them done. Then you end up paying twice as much.
So Isadora said a guy started it. Some moron started it. Jeez, that's what I was going to ask, if they knew how it got started. Jeez, the New Jersey fire, somebody started it. Good Lord. Yeah, a bonfire or something. South Jersey, doing South Jersey things. So these people are morons. People with their, reveal.
Is it a?
This is what my baby's going to be. They
What is burning?
Fireworks, and they do.
Trees are burning.
Yeah, there's a forest fire.
Where are there forests in New Jersey?
There's
Pine Barrens.
Pine Barrens. Shan said this is south in New Jersey.
Okay.
And last
I'll
thing
have
we
to
heard,
check it out.
50% was contained.
Where the Jersey Devil is.
And stop with the Jersey Devil. Yeah, Shan made a joke about the Jersey Devil now. But yeah, south of they did a bonfire or something, and morons started the fire. Jeez. Yeah, people need to get smart, and they're not. It's instead of getting better, it's getting worse. So, people, trees and also a building. Yeah, well, Shelby laughed at the Jersey Devil. So, but yeah, the whole thing about the Jersey Devil, whether it's real or not, I don't know. But that's supposed to be where it lives, or it originated. Hello, Miss Nancy. How are you, my dear? Yeah, we're just going to be wrapping it up because it's 6:35 my time, but it's been a very long day. And I know Allison has had a very long day because she's been up probably since 4:35 o'clock.
I've been up every day. It doesn't matter. I do the same thing on the weekend. I do get up a little later on the weekend, but not much because it's so wired. Plus
Um,
Scout. Scout's up at 5:10, like he's got on a Seiko wristwatch. He knows what time it is.
Yeah, just like our cats. And Tom said 14,000 acres or something now have burned. Oh, good Lord. Ah. I heard
She
it
said,
was a
I heard it was
Tesla
a
that
Tesla
started
that
it.
started the fire.
I don't get it. We didn't start the fire, but yeah, that's it. When Heather starts singing Billy Joel, we got the fire. Then you know it's time. I think it's in Ocean Township. Alrighty, well,
It might be too dark in here, but I'm going to try to show, well, everybody will see it, but I'm trying to show Miss Tarot D
Chantel.
Scout because he's asleep on his bed and it's so cute. It's kind of dark,
There's Muzzy
but
there. Oh, we could see him. Hi, Scout. We see his butt now. Move over. There we go. Oh, yep, she's happy. Yes, a Scout sighting. Oh,
it's so cute how they tuck their face
uh-huh.
into their feet.
I adore Lulu. I think because she reminds me of what my Lilu used to do with her. The way she does
Yeah, and
the
I
bedding
can't
and her little
show her.
paws and stuff.
She's always burrowed. There's nothing to look at but
Yeah, same with Lilu. They should get under the. She'd
a
be all burrowed.
blanket pile. Oh, you can see my cord when I'm showing Scout. Oh, I didn't really show him very well, did I? I got my phone plugged in because the battery was low. Anyway, yeah, it's so hard. I wish you could see what you're showing when you turn the phone away from you.
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm showing him really well, and it's like
Miss Tarot D is so freaking cute.
he is.
Everybody
Thank you,
loves
honey.
it.
He's very
And
cute. He
Puppy
looks like a
Cam.
little Arctic fox.
What did Miss Tarot D say? When I do raspberries on my doggies' tummies, they rub their faces with their paws.
Yeah,
Aw.
that's so cute.
And mine, I guess he didn't want to come back. He's just all zonkered out, and
It's so
Ziva is over,
cute.
and Ziva's over there sleeping on Shan's lap. That little black thing right there on his lap.
Oh,
That's Ziva. So, but yeah. Oh goodness. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with Allison and I. It's been a long day, so I'm going to
get some sleep.
chill out for a bit.
Oh wow, you guys hear that?
No.
Oh my goodness. It's my neighbor upstairs. I did something out on his balcony, which I never hear him, but he obviously just did something.
We're right against the interstate, so I'm surprised we don't hear.
And my
more
windows are open, yeah, because it's so nice
noises.
now. We've been having beautiful weather. It's been really
Yes.
nice the last couple of days. And it's supposed to actually be like spring next week, which is great because it's been like with summer yesterday and today. So
Yeah,
weird. We
had
go
these
from winter
icy
right into
temperatures
summer.
Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
Michigan. Oh God, I
It's
hate it.
getting rain tomorrow. So
How about some spring? Yeah.
yes, that would be nice. Well, yes, Miss Tarot D, we made it safe. Allison, get some rest. She also said. Tom saying good
I
night.
will,
Bye,
honey.
Selena. So everybody, thank
Oh,
you
bye,
again.
Selena.
So everyone have a good night. Have a good weekend. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to do this again next Friday. So and Nancy, I'll be
We'll
in
see how it
touch.
goes.
Maybe on Monday, maybe we can do it our Divine Feminine on Monday, maybe. If with being in Ashland, I might be able to find a spot where maybe we can do it, but we'll
Yeah,
see
much
how
love,
things
Moon
work out.
Fox.
Yes, thank you everyone for popping in, and thank you everybody
Hey,
for
Tom.
sending all those well wishes and sending the prayers and the support. During the trip, I could feel the protection. I could feel the support. So, thank you everybody, and have a good night. Bye everyone.